We have breaking news tonight. The Kansas Supreme Court has ruled in favor of Governor Laura Kelly's lawsuit against legislative leaders. Justices say lawmakers did not have authority to revoke the governor's order limiting church congregations to 10 people or less during the coronavirus pandemic. And we'll have more on that hearing in just a moment. But tonight, hundreds of churches in the metro are preparing to hold their Easter services online. KMBC 9's Bianca Beltran spoke to a local church navigating this new way of worship.
I've been here long enough as the pastor that I know where people sit. And so when I walk by the pew, I know who'd be sitting there on Sunday morning, and I pray for those people as I walk by there.
This Easter weekend, Asbury Church is much quieter as Kansans are ordered to stay home to prevent the spread of COVID-19.
Typically on this day, on Saturday, we'd have an Easter egg hunt, and then we would come and decorate the sanctuary full of Easter lilies. So indeed, it is one of those times that we look forward to, we plan for. And it's very different this year, not doing that.
We're obviously doing it a little different.
Throughout Holy Week, services moved online. It's taken some work to produce the sermon in a way people can enjoy from home, but Pastor Rapp says it's how they keep faith while keeping safe.
We care about our people too much to ask them to come into this sanctuary and gather for worship.
Others insist congregations should be allowed to gather for one of Christians' holiest days, taking the matter to court.
I cannot believe our leaders who would suggest we have to be in a sanctuary to experience God. I think that is disrespectful. I think it's not safe. And I also think it denies the power and presence of God to be everywhere.
These unusual circumstances serve as a reminder that a church is not simply a building. In Prairie Village, Kansas, Bianca Beltran, KMBC 9 News.
Because the stay-at-home order limits gatherings to fewer than 10 people, the church couldn't have a chorus to sing Hallelujah, which is tradition for their Easter service, so they'll use last year's recording in Sunday's live stream. We've invited local churches to share links to their Easter streaming services on our website. You can find those right now on KMBC.com. And now back to today's hearing. The Kansas Supreme Court began their day with a rare weekend hearing by video conferencing. KMBC 9's Brian Johnson brings us both sides of the hour-long arguments that led to tonight's decision.
You're out of time, but I want to not let you go without asking you about the religious liberty dimensions of this case.
Concern about religious freedom is why some state lawmakers overturned the governor's COVID-19 restriction. During oral arguments Saturday, little was said about religion. Instead, it focused on state law and procedures.
There are other ways of resolving cases, and we don't make public policy.
At issue is legislative wording, which lawmakers might fix by reconvening and voting.
An emergency disaster where the legislature's ability to reconvene and act in a broader sense is severely limited.
State lawmakers' attorneys argue the governor's resolution should be deemed invalid and the executive orders expire.
Does the legislature get to keep the oversight that it tried to give itself here?
The governor's attorney says no state law gives the Legislative Coordinating Council the ability to overrule the governor during an emergency declaration.
The law is the law, and it can work perfectly fine in this situation.
Governor Kelly's attorney argues since lawmakers aren't a religious body, they have no case to bring.
This is a time of unprecedented crisis and danger. Lives are on the line, clearly. Every day counts, every minute counts.
Brian Johnson, KMBC 9 News.
Instead of state lawmakers, it is possible a religious group could bring a case to the Supreme Court showing damages. And if that were to happen, the court would be forced to hear the arguments. It's important to remember that both state lawmakers and Governor Kelly agree that worshipers should stay home and watch online services. They just disagree on the state's constitutional authority to order it. Governor Kelly cites 3 examples of religious gatherings starting COVID-19 outbreaks in Kansas. New tonight, Jackson County Sheriff Daryl Forte reports a non-inmate at the detention center has tested positive for COVID-19. He says the department is working with health officials to identify who had close contact with that person. The Cass County Health Department is reporting that another resident of Meadowview Health and Rehabilitation in Harrisonville has died from COVID-19, and 1 more employee has tested positive for the virus. That's 2 deaths now at the center. 6 other residents have tested positive. They are still in self-isolation. As of today, there are over 4,000 cases of coronavirus in Missouri. The red line on this chart shows how the Missouri numbers have grown over the past 3 weeks. Kansas cases are shown on that gold line. Kansas reached 1,268 cases today. And we're hoping for the number of new cases to level off. Today, there were 225 newly reported cases of COVID-19 in Missouri. You can see how the daily cases have steadily dropped over the past week. Kansas reported 102 new cases today, making today the second highest number of new cases reported this week in Kansas. And the number of coronavirus cases around the world has topped more than 1.75 million. New York's governor says his state may be flattening the curve after weeks of social distancing. ABC's Andrew Dimber reports other states are preparing for a possible surge in cases.
More than 500,000 cases of coronavirus now confirmed in the U.S., and that number still growing. With more than 8,600 deaths in New York City alone, the pandemic taking its toll on first responders.
It's weighing on me.
But New York State may be seeing the curve begin to flatten after weeks of social distancing and stay-at-home orders.
The number of hospitalizations appears to have hit an apex, and the apex appears to be a plateau.
But New York Governor Andrew Cuomo with this warning.
The worst thing that can happen is we make a misstep and we let our emotions get ahead of our logic and fact, and we go through this again in any manner, shape, or form.
President Trump now looking to create a task force focused on reopening the country.
It's the biggest decision I'll ever make.
But according to a New York Times report, new federal projections warn of a spike in coronavirus infections if shelter-in-place orders were lifted after only 30 days. A second wave likely spiking mid-summer.
I would hope that by November we would have things under such control that we could have a real degree of normality.
Andrew Dimber, ABC News, Washington.
You can get the latest on the coronavirus impact in your neighborhood with our new coronavirus newsletter. Updates will go straight to your email. Just go to KMBC.com to sign up. Tonight, a surprise celebration for a couple who got married today online. Dozens of cars went by the newlyweds' home tonight, honking their horns and congratulating the happy couple. The couple decided to embrace the times and hold their wedding on the internet for their loved ones to see. KMBC 9's Kelly Gibbs spoke with them as they prepared to say I do.
For Chris Smart and his fiancée Emily, a wedding later this month was the original plan.
We've learned a lot about each other. As far as dealing with the crisis, I'm so grateful to not have a bridezilla here.
After the stay-at-home order, the plans changed. The couple had to get their marriage license early and move their wedding to this weekend.
We were going to get married in our living room anyway, so we just thought we'll just make it super tiny.
Their nuptials taking place in their living room in front of loved ones online.
You are my greatest joy, and I shall be there for you no matter the circumstances.
I think the only option is to, do things that are full of love and family. It was important for us to just have the event and continue with life.
In Kansas City, Kelly Gibbs, KMBC 9 News.